I'm a formulation and process design scientist, and what that means is that I'm responsible for designing the process and also the formulation in order to develop safe, stable and effective drug products. So I work in the solid oral dosage form space, so I develop things like tablets or capsules. I have a very patient-focused job role. So whenever I'm doing my job, I always think about the patient first, the patient's needs, and ultimately provide a better quality of life. I was a manager, a trainer, a coordinator, and also a communicator. I actually wasn't very surprised because they were all quite interlinked. So they were all focused on around effective communication, being empathetic and a good listener, which is something that I think they're personality traits that I think are really important to me. And it sounds like a bizarre thing to say, but my favourite thing about my job is actually when something goes wrong. I work in science and science is unpredictable. So when something doesn't go as we expected it to happen, that's what really lights the fire in my belly, because I like troubleshooting and I like getting the team together and I like the chaos and all the minds working together to understand, really what happened and making an effective plan on how we can do a root cause analysis of what went wrong and ultimately move forward with the project. That's what I like the most about my job. I originally wanted to be a forensic scientist, so I actually did a forensic science diploma at college. And it was during that diploma that I realised that actually I really enjoyed being in the lab and I liked the chemistry aspects of the course. At the time, I was quite independent and I didn't like the idea of moving away from my friends and family, so I didn't want to go to university, and that is why I looked down the apprenticeship route. And upon a quick Google search, I discovered a science apprenticeship working at Pfizer in Sandwich, and I completed my chemistry degree part-time whilst working 4 days a week, studying 1 day a week. So I really enjoyed the apprenticeship route for me because I thought it gave me both aspects of learning on the job whilst learning in the classroom, because my typical style of learning, I always felt like I learned a lot more by doing rather than being told. So a typical day for me usually starts with checking my emails. So I work with a lot of clients externally and also internal colleagues all around the world, which means that we all work on very different time zones. So whilst I'm sleeping at home, a lot could be going on in other areas of the world. So the first thing that I have to do when I get in is always catch up on anything that I might have missed from the day before. I am a laboratory scientist, so I am lab-based, but realistically, you spend about 50% of your time in the lab, and with every piece of lab work that you need to do, you also need to articulate that data, communicate that data, and analyse that data. Never be afraid to ask questions or ask for advice. I think the ability to ask for help or ask for advice is actually the biggest strength that somebody can have. I think a lot of people may perceive it as a weakness, but having the ability to reach out and ask for help and ask for guidance is really valuable.